My name is Tori Trades, and if you guys are just now following my channel or just now finding me, let me give you a backstory. I go by Tori Trades. My name is Victoria Duke. I am from Jacksonville, Florida. I got into trading 9 years ago, so I've been doing this for 9 years. That is a long time to do anything. If you have been doing something for 9 years, you had better be good at it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, before I got into trading, I was living in Jacksonville. I was going to FSCJ. I was going to pursue a occupational therapy degree. I was leaning between special education and occupational therapy. So I was going to school. I had my very first apartment, my own very first apartment. My dad went into the military and I was able to receive benefits from the VA. They helped me with school and with housing. It was the coolest thing ever. I was able to live on my own for the first time in Riverside in Jacksonville. I had a car and I'm going to school. I'm working at Einstein Bagels as well. I am living on the party side of town and I have to street park my car. There was a night where I woke up and my car was totaled. Someone had crashed it while it was parked. No more car. Didn't have the best car insurance either, so I think we just had to ixnay that car. So then I resorted to riding a bike. I had to then ride my bike to work and to school. Turns out it took me on a whole crazy path in my life. I tried to pursue professional cycling. I tried to be a professional athlete and I started racing and I got sponsored. It was the coolest thing ever. Then I had to pivot. I crashed. So this is a lot of pivoting here. So we're thinking school, no school. We're thinking I want to be a professional athlete. I crashed. I'm traveling all over the world. I go to Milan to race. I go to Brooklyn and then I go to live in LA for a while. LA was like the mecca for cycling. The best cyclists were out there. I figured that's where I need to be. Well, I crashed, things didn't work out, so it's time to come back home. So I went back home to Middleburg, Florida to live with my grandma. My sister called me and said she's been living with my uncle and she is working on creating a business with him. She's telling me, you know, she doesn't know how to record, she doesn't know how to edit anything. So she asked if I wanted to help them, you know, with this new project. And I said, yeah. So I ended up moving from grandma's house to my uncle's house. And this is where it all started. I'm living with my uncle and my sister and my cousin and my aunt, and then my other sister came too. So it's just this, he called it the Princess Protection Program. We all lived here with my uncle. He's a day trader. He has been for as long as I can remember my uncle. He had always been home. He had always taken us on trips. He had the ability to take in his nieces to just come live, and we would help, you know, pick up horse poop and feed the horses, you know, help out with chores around the house. And he was able to provide us with, you know, shelter and food and trips. We just wanted to live with my uncle because it was the coolest place to go live. Like, they had a cool house, they had horses, my aunt and uncle were awesome, my cousin was amazing. It was like where we wanted to live. It was so cool. I go and live with him. I find out that the project is about, he wanted to record himself teaching me and my sister how to trade.
Right?
Yeah.
The world's been going up a long time. This is NASDAQ. Now, interesting.
Oh, that's right at the point.
Remember, that's right. I say to trade right, look to the left.
Yeah.
To trade right, look to the left. By zooming out, you just notice that.
Yeah.
That's where it was years ago, 15 years ago.
Wow.
It finally made it back to that spot. Not even really at that spot. Let me just make sure. What's the high? High is 5132. What's the high over here? So we bought this stock yesterday, like right in here. Gave it some room to move down a little bit. It gapped in our favor. Normally we don't hold overnight, but since I've been doing it so long, I know how to do that, right? With reasonable risk.
So what made you say, okay, this is good to hold overnight?
Okay. What told me to do that was, one, there's 3 reasons to hold overnight. Why would you hold overnight? One is because
He's like, okay, I need you guys to document it, and I want to create a website, and I want to be able to offer this to everyone else. How can we do this? So, you know, we sat down, we're like, okay, we got to get camera equipment. We needed to get a green screen because of course we needed a green screen. So we got a green screen, we got lights, we got cameras, we got microphones. We went through the trial and error of just figuring out how to work this equipment, figuring out how to edit. So outside of that entire learning curve, creating a website, learning how to code, I had to also learn how to trade simultaneously. So we would set everything up and then we'd sit down and it'd be like, okay, lesson 1. We talked for hours. We would start out with just talking about psychology. He wouldn't even open up a chart at first. He was just like, okay, we're gonna talk about the psychology of trading. He gave us as many different analogies as you could possibly fathom. One, starting with the best analogy that he used for me was cooking chicken.
people start off, hey, I think what I'm doing is right. No, we already start the other side, so I'm protected. Remember we talked about frying chicken, did we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you really believe it's going to be a grease fire? You'd be suited up the whole 9 yards. So I can see how true you think you're doing something incorrectly by your actions.
And it was, I'm going to tell you tonight that when you go to make your chicken, there's going to be a fire. And I'm like, that's terrifying. Okay. But what would you do if I told you that? Okay. I would make sure that I've got the fire extinguisher here. I've got the little hoods going on. I've got some, oven mitts. I got all the things. And then I cook my chicken. Turns out there's actually no fire. And I'm confused. I'm like, okay, all right. And he said, but tomorrow night there's going to be. So he's setting me up for the markets are designed to take your money. Just like if you were to cook chicken tonight, there's going to be a fire. There's a high probability there's going to be a fire if you do something wrong. So he was trying to convey that the markets, at any moment, you could lose your money. It's designed to lose your money. He went through as many different analogies as he could to truly let me understand or grasp the concept that the markets are designed to take your money. So we have to be on red alert, high alert, every trade we place. Full circle here, we're learning how to trade. I'm learning how to code and work camera equipment and edit videos and figure out how to match up audio with the video. So we put together a course. We put together a website for my uncle, and simultaneously I got to learn how to trade at the same time. It took us an entire year, and after that year, I had learned it all. I learned the strategy. I learned how to operate a website. I learned how to do some marketing, website development. It was the coolest opportunity that my uncle gave me to not only learn a trade with, marketing, video production, which was incredibly beneficial, especially for what I'm doing now as an influencer. I had to do this stuff myself before I reached a level to where now I have better production and I've got people that can help me. I got to learn how to do that first. And then I also got to learn how to trade. And how cool that what I'm doing now, 9 years later, the benefits of this is insane. I know that I knew I could do this. I knew I was going to be good. I knew I was going to get to the level of my uncle, but actually sitting in it, sitting here right now, I just did a withdrawal of $50,000 to my bank account, and it still feels so surreal. I knew I was going to reach that level. I knew it, but I'm sitting in it. I'm here right now living it. It's the craziest thing. That is my backstory. I got to learn from my uncle who's been doing this for 30 years now, and here we are. Now we're doing it. We've made it. I'm officially full-time trader. So I just want to use this as hopefully as motivation or inspiration to show you guys that I knew nothing. I knew the slightest thing about the stock market at all. And to be honest, there was a moment in my life where I thought I was going to maybe just pivot to social media and marketing and production, but I stuck through trading and I've made it to this point. So I want to encourage you to continue to stick it out. It's not an easy thing, and I will preach that, strategies are simple and implementation is simple, but it's the discipline and the consistency which is the hardest thing. And if I can encourage you to continue with it and stick with it, there is a possibility you can get to this level. And how cool that I get to just sit here, and I'm still in shock that I've made it to this point. So I want to use this energy or this emotion that I have to encourage you to do the same. If you guys like this video, don't forget to check out all my other videos. They drop every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you guys soon.